What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg. I do put out videos a couple times a week, so if you don't want to miss out on my content, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and that way my new videos will show up in your newsfeed. If you would like to know when my videos go live, hit the bell button and you'll be notified. So today we're going to talk about microblading. I did get my brows microbladed, so I'm going to talk through the whole process with you guys. So you're going to be in it for a long haul. I'm going to go into detail, so this is a longer video. I am going to show you guys different progress shots. I'm going to take you through the first 10 days after I got it done, the different care instructions, like how I personally took care of them, my end result, and my recommendation if I think it's worth the money. So this is a new trend that just kind of like exploded out of nowhere. Of course, eyebrow tattooing has been around for a while, but microblading is a more natural look to it. It is actually a needle and they slice your skin and fill it with pigment. It sounds terrifying, but you don't actually see what's happening, so I guess it's not that bad. I basically started off with hardly any eyebrows. If you guys go back to any of my previous videos, you can see if I start off with a bare face, there's really not much that I'm working with. I was always having to draw my brows on, even going makeup free. I never felt confident enough to wear a completely bare face. I always had to fill my brows in somewhat to feel like normal or feel like I look like a human. I felt like I looked like a weird alien, like no eyebrows. And if you're someone that rocks no brows or likes that look, then like, kudos to you, but I did not feel comfortable not having brows on my face. So that was a big reason why I decided to go ahead and get this done. I also had my wedding coming up, so I wanted my brows, you know, with your wedding, it's kind of a big day. It's probably like one of the most photographed moments of your life. You want to make sure that your makeup and your brows are on point. So I definitely wanted to make sure that my brows looked good because I was doing my own makeup and I didn't want to mess it up myself and get nervous. So that was just kind of the push for me to just go ahead and bite the bullet. It's kind of what I use as my excuse because normally I'm not the kind of person to spend that kind of money on something. This procedure is a little bit on the pricey side depending where you live and where you go to get it done. It could cost anywhere from a couple $100s to over $1,000 I've seen. So definitely make sure you do your research, creep on people's Instagrams, ask for recommendations, search it, make sure that the person that you're going to is legit and uses hygienic methods. You don't want to get an infection from this. The procedure itself was really easy. Basically the first time is the longest time that you're there. I was there for almost 2 hours, and most of the time is a person mapping out your brows. And basically they're just going to use a pencil, do measurements, like they actually do measurements on your face. It's kind of crazy. They do that and they check with you. Does it look good? Do you feel like anything needs to be changed? Do you want any adjustments? And then basically they go in and get to work. The first time they just do the hair strokes, and then the second time for a touch-up, which is normally 6 weeks afterwards, you go back for a touch-up and they'll just redo the hair strokes and then fill it in with the pigment, and then you should be good to go for about 2 years. A lot of people ask if it's painful. I have an extremely low pain tolerance, so I think if you're worried about this, this may be like one of the better videos for you to watch. I straight up told her, I was like, I'm extremely sensitive. I have a really low pain tolerance. Like the dentist has to use 5 shots of Novocaine when I get a filling. I can still feel it. It's pretty terrible. So she really took her time with the numbing cream and gave me a lot of numbing stuff. Needless to say, I could still feel it, but it was tolerable. And when I felt like it was too much, she could kind of tell, and we would just like pause for a few minutes and take a break. If you have gotten your eyebrows threaded, it's like similar to that because my person did thread my eyebrows, and it's like slightly more painful than getting your eyebrows threaded. But at the same time, it's like they're digging into your skin, going into the same area over and over and over again. So it's kind of like getting like that pain from getting your eyebrows threaded non-stop for close to an hour. I also learned that I'm a bleeder. I was bleeding all over the place, and that makes it more difficult for the pigment to stick, because if you think about it, if like they're trying to place pigment into your skin, Because basically they're putting the pigment into your skin, and then your skin, like your skin will heal over it, trapping the pigment under the layers of your skin. That's the whole idea behind it. So if you think about it, if you have blood gushing out, it's gonna gush the pigment away. So that is one thing that I did have issues with. So keep that in mind if you know like you bleed really easily. Something good to know. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and get to it and walk you guys through the first 10 days, what my results were, and you can kind of see how it fades. So in this first picture, I was really happy with how it looked. It took like 2 weeks for me to get used to them. It was so weird seeing myself with eyebrows. I was so weirded out, but as you could tell, it kind of slowly faded away. I was really nervous before getting my touch-up because I felt like they faded so much. She did use the lightest color on me, but at the end of the day, I was still like really nervous, like am I paying all this money for it to just fade into nothing? What's going on here? And then when I went for my touch-up, I just asked her to go a little bit darker because I just felt like my brows were way too light for my liking, and she did a darker pigment for me. What's up, you guys? So it is the end of the 10 days. This is the last time I'm going to be doing my brow routine, so I figured I would show it for you guys. I'm definitely going to probably keep up with this jelly until I feel like my brows aren't as dry. But as far as washing with the soap, I'm probably just going to go back to my regular face cleanser. So here are the aftercare tips. You want to start this an hour after your procedure and then repeat it twice a day for 10 days. So basically an hour after you get home, you want to cleanse your brows. And what you do for this is, again, what you're going to repeat twice a day for the 10 days. So I did morning and night. You basically just want to wash your brows with Gold Dial soap. And then she also said that the Johnson & Johnson Gold Baby Shampoo would work as well if you were to run out of this. But she said using all this would be way too much. And I've used maybe half of what was in the container. So basically, what you want to do is cleanse your brows. So I just use the circular motions. And then you want to pat dry and air dry, and then once your brows are completely dry, you want to apply the petroleum jelly. And the amount that you apply to each brow should be about the size of a grain of rice. And then just repeat. So they're just very, I mean, they're flat. So I found that this works out really nicely, and you just want to take the amount of jelly that is equal to a grain of rice, basically. And this is to just prevent your brows from drying out. Because I have a flat toothpick, I just kind of spread it through my brow, and then again with my pinky finger, I'm just going to run this through. And I'm going to do a little bit under and a little bit above because I don't want to get moisturizer in those areas and accidentally have the moisturizer get into the microblading. And you definitely want to make sure that you are running this smooth, that there's no little balls of the jelly because it could affect your pigmentation. You really want to keep your brows dry otherwise. Like, I wash my hair twice in the 10 days. I have really greasy hair, so it was a struggle for me. But I just didn't want to risk the healing process or my brows fading because like they're getting a ton of water on them. So you really want to be careful in the shower. Make sure you have like a washcloth or something nearby to be like wiping your forehead. And you can't work out either because the sweat and bacteria could get in there, and then just again the water could help fade them faster. And then another obvious one is don't pick any scabs. This is so hard to do. My brows were itchy for about 3 days, and it was so hard for me to not touch them. That was like the most difficult part about this aftercare. And then that's it. You got to keep that going twice a day for 10 days. And then there is long-term aftercare after the first 10 days, and that is to avoid potent skincare products on your brows, such as exfoliators, acids, chemical peels, retinols, and skin bleachers. And then, of course, if you're going out in the sun, make sure you're putting SPF on your brows because the sunlight will fade it. So I don't think I really have to worry about that because I'm pasty AF. But yeah, that's it for the aftercare stuff for microblading, and I will see you guys right before my touch-up. Alright, so I'm here for my last and final check-in for you guys. It has been about 2.5 months since I got my touch-up, and the reason why I didn't really film right after my touch-up is because I know the results were going to fade, and it wouldn't look like how it looked right when I got it done. The only difference with the touch-up is the first time they go, they just go through and make the strokes. And then the second time they fill in pigment after they go through and redo the strokes to kind of go in between and try to fill areas in. So that's the difference. They definitely look the best after the touch-up. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in now so you can see the final results. So here is what my brows look like. They're not perfect per se, but they're a lot better than what they were. I still have like really sparse areas, but as you can see, the eyebrow area is pretty much like all the way filled in on this left brow. My only issue is my right brow. I feel like down here she missed, and I felt that way the first time around. I don't know if it was just difficult to get around my mole, but I feel like on this half she was able to get it up to here, and then after my mole she kind of like, I felt like it was a struggle maybe to get the pigment down. But again, it's pretty much covered all the way through except for that one little bald spot. So this is what they look like at a distance. Again, they're not 100% perfect. I feel like this one still sticks up higher than the other one, but that's just my face not being symmetrical. She tries to keep it as natural looking as possible. And basically when I went in for the second time, she was like, are there any areas of concern? Anything that you think needs to be fixed? I told her I felt this brow needed to be rounded out, and that like that little spot that still wouldn't take the pigment. Overall, I am happy with the result. It's kind of like, it kind of tricks you a little bit looking at these pictures online and then this being the final result. At the end of the day, it's super natural looking, you know, it's not like they're too dark or like too pristine or too well done to the point where I feel like I need to wear makeup to make it look balanced. I feel like it looks fine. And honestly, I like barely wear makeup at all anymore because I finally feel like comfortable and confident with my brows. Before I felt like I couldn't, you know, not wear makeup and not have them filled in. Will I go back and get it done again once it's mostly gone? I don't know. This is supposed to last up to 2 years, so I'm hoping that it does and it doesn't fade really fast. So what I really like about having this like type of procedure done, if you will, is that it's super convenient. I basically already have a stencil laid down for my brows. When I do put cream product on, it does cover up the eyebrows, so you can't just like put makeup on and not ever fill them in unless if you're super precise. But for me, I don't mind doing that because it literally takes me 30 seconds to do my brows, just to go over it with the dip brow or a pencil really quickly. It's not that big of a deal. The downside is that it's not as precise looking as you see in the pictures when they're first done. There's also not like those super defined brow strokes. It kind of just fades into like a color, which for me, I don't personally mind. I know some people might have an issue with that. So would I recommend for you to get this done? That depends. If you have like little to no eyebrows like I did in the beginning, I 100% would recommend for you to really do your research and go to someone that you know is going to do a good job. I do think it's worth it. It's just so much more convenient. Even if you are someone that likes to wear makeup every day, it makes your routine so much faster. However, if you're someone that kind of has about sparse brows, that can normally get your brows fixed after spending like 30 seconds to a minute on your brows doing your routine, I don't necessarily think that this would be worth it for you. I think you should just stick to using your pencil, but if you feel like you want to shell out the money for it, then go for it. I just personally think that it's worth the money for someone that is just really sparse in brows. Anyways, I apologize if this video was like a million minutes long. I hope you guys found it interesting and that you learned something. If you have a question about something that I didn't discuss or answer in the video, leave it in the comments below and I will get back to you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out these other videos floating around right here. I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.